What's up, everybody? This is Lunch Break Lifter. We are back with a lower body workout vlog today. This is lower body B. So we're starting off here with trap bar deadlifts, and I'm just going to reiterate how much I love this lift. If you have access to a trap bar and you are not going to compete in powerlifting or a sport that requires the use of a standard barbell, I would highly recommend for fun just giving these a try. I personally find, I don't know if it's my leverages or what, but I find that I have a much easier time getting the setup correct with these. So when I pull the slack out and get tight and get ready to initiate the pull and I start the drive, I feel the drive and the pull and push throughout my full body. I feel my legs, I feel my whole back, I feel my upper back and traps, and I just feel like the entire leg structure and posterior chain are engaged, and I could never get that with the straight bar. It always just felt like pure lower back to me. And this just feels way more like a full body, just all the muscles in my entire body firing all at once. I love it. Anyway, next up is tempo pause squats. But while this is going on, I want to talk today about a topic that I'll call comparing yourself to yourself and only to yourself. So, back in the day, before social media, before the TV even, just back in the day, if you lived outside of a big city, say, and you got really into a hobby of some kind, there was a decent chance that you were by far the most skilled person in that hobby in your town or your village or whatever. And what that meant was you were the expert in that thing. You were the guy. You were the GOAT of those around you. So what I really mean by that is if you were from a small town and you happened to get into lifting weights, and before social media, the internet, if you were one of the few people into it, if you just got pretty good at it, you were the big guy. You were the fitness guy. And that, I think, gave people a lot of confidence because they were the person with the most know-how of the folks around them. Now, with the advent of social media, what has happened is that's still the case, but it doesn't feel like it because when you are constantly scrolling through other people and the entire other world of people into a given hobby, the way our brains work with pattern recognition, if you swipe through 20 people in a row who look like fitness magazine cover models and who are lifting just inhuman amounts of weight that is not achievable without the use of gear, what's going to happen is your brain is going to set that as a pattern and you are going to feel inadequate. Even though you are probably still one of the biggest people in your friend group, at your place of work, what have you. So it's a struggle. It's a struggle in our modern world to remember this sense of perspective. And I think it's really important because this hobby, lifting weights, trying to stay healthy, trying to build muscle, at the end of the day, it should be something that improves your life and makes you feel better about yourself. One of the most amazing things about lifting weights is it's so tangible. That's why I love lifting weights and focusing on numbers. It's tangible because you come in and you have the weights you're working with day one. And if you log your workouts, which you should, you get to look back months later and you can literally move more weight than you used to. And there's no arguing with it. I mean, you can, not get into it. You can technically cheat and sandbag yourself, whatever. The point is, if you are doing it right, It's tangible progress. And in today's world, that's also something that is kind of hard to come by. Like, a lot of jobs don't have a lot of tangible sense of progress made. A lot of it's on computers, and it's just not the same thing. So it's important to remember that you are only competing against yourself. And I'm not saying you can't get inspiration from folks online. And if you do feel inspired browsing YouTube or Instagram fitness, great. But I think it's important to be honest with yourself. And when you do find yourself scrolling a lot or watching a lot of content, ingesting a lot of content, is it helping or is it making you feel worse? Is it making you feel better and inspired, or is it making you feel depressed and like you are so far behind everybody, etc., etc.? Because suddenly we can find ourselves in this world where, unless you literally look like a stage-ready professional bodybuilder freak show, the internet is going to say you don't look like you lift, or that you're small, and that you should give up, and all this garbage. And it's nonsense. It's just nonsense. And as I've talked about, the most important thing with a lot of things in life, but especially lifting weights, it's consistency. So you have to come in for years and years and years and years to be successful, especially if you're natural. And to do that, you have to stay motivated and stay positive and stay in a good headspace, because life is going to try to derail you. That's the other thing. A lot of the people you're going to see on Instagram with these massive followings, that's their job. They're not trying to squeeze this in between on their lunch break, or they're not trying to squeeze it in after work. Most of us have responsibilities. We have other obligations. We're doing our best. And comparing yourself to people who are not in those circumstances, who are on drugs, it's just, if it inspires you, great, but just be honest with yourself and ask if it's inspiring you or if it's making you feel like garbage. Because if it makes you feel like garbage and you quit, I can guarantee you you're not gonna make progress if you quit. Makes sense, right? So just stick with stuff that makes you feel good, and be disciplined, and unfollow stuff that doesn't make you feel good and doesn't inspire you and doesn't make you feel positive. And you really should just be comparing yourself to yourself a year ago or to yourself a couple months ago, because that's the progress that matters. It's not how am I doing compared to this guy. It's am I better than I was a year ago? Did I make gains? And if you did, you're doing it right. And that's, at the end of the day, what matters. And that's what's going to keep you coming back. That's what's going to keep you in the gym, coming back year after year, and stay enjoying it. Not just coming back year after year, but actually enjoying the journey. Because that is, guys, I'm 35. I'm not old, but I know a thing or two at this point. And one thing I know for sure is that you have to, and this goes for anything, you have to enjoy the journey, okay? Because if you're waiting to be content or happy, if you're waiting for the end result of something, guess what? You're not going to be as happy as you think when that end result comes. You're going to be majorly let down. You have to think the journey is the joy, is the fun. It's the coming in and lifting every session that's fun. It's not, I'm going to be so happy once I'm huge and ripped. No. You think, I'm having fun working out today. The journey to the end result is what you have to learn to enjoy. If you can do that, seriously, that is a major key to unlocking. I'm not going to say happiness. I really don't like that word. Content. Feeling content. Feeling grounded. Feeling secure in your life is what one should strive for. Anyway, getting a little deep with it here, but compare yourself to yourself, all right? And stay positive, because it is a mindset. That's what's going to keep you coming back. Anyway, this has been the Lunch Break Lifter. Hope you enjoyed listening and watching. Keep hitting those weights. Stay in the gym. Don't give up. All right, peace out. Bye.